Greetings, YouTube. I am a cisgender man, and most people I have known in my life have been cisgender. The vast majority of the population is. I think it's only like 1% of the population is falls into the category of trans or non-binary. And amongst all the people I have known in my life that were cis, and again, that's 99% of the people I have met, whether it was strangers or coworkers or acquaintances or friends or partners, doesn't matter. Um, One of the things that I have never asked any of them, not one, not once, was about their genitals. I never asked any of them about their genitals. I have had a few of them volunteer information, but I've never asked. I haven't even asked people that I was sexually interested in and who eventually I became lovers with. I didn't ask about their genitals either. I kind of waited till the up close and personal debut. Um, and so I think it's very strange that there are people in the world that think it's perfectly acceptable um, to ask about another person's genitals. And when I say people, I almost always mean men. And the people they seem to be asking are almost always trans women. Because you see, there are a segment of men that discover they are attracted to a trans woman. They find themselves attracted to a woman, and then they find the fact that the woman is trans after, or sometimes they may actually find themselves in the unusual circumstances of knowing someone is a trans woman prior to seeing them, and then still finding them attractive. And they just can't seem to wrap their head around the concept that attraction actually doesn't have anything to do with gender identity. So that puts themselves into a conundrum. They find themselves attracted to a person, and they are now in a situation where they have to ask themselves and society at large, does this person have a penis? Because you see, they've been conditioned, thanks to toxic masculinity and social conservatism, um, that if you are attracted to someone and you are a cisgender straight man, they must not have a penis. And if they have a penis, that they cannot be a woman in their side their mind, even though they are a woman, because that's their gender identity. Uh, but they don't know how to reconcile that. So it emboldens them to ask. Because if the person says, yes, I have gone through a full course of um, gender reassignment and finally reconciling their physical form with their gender identity, uh, then there's like a sigh of relief, like, okay, there's no penis. Because if there is a penis and they're still attracted, that impacts their self-image and, of course, the image that they fear that the world will have of them. They're terrified of being judged by others. Um, so again, it emboldens them to ask questions to complete strangers about their genitals. And this doesn't seem to be wrong to them, which is baffling. Um, and I've seen this many times when I've had discussions, listened to discussions in interviews, or I've listened to people on both YouTube and on Instagram talk about the fact that men will just come out of the gate and ask them, you know, so have you had transitioned or have you, and it's just none of your damn business. Ever. If you get to the point with the relationship with someone where it's time to like debut that particular aspect of the relationship, then it's your business. And until then, it isn't. Um, Now I realize that for the purposes of staying safe and alive, trans women can't necessarily always be able to have that um, those social niceties, because frankly, if it is discovered in a manner that it makes some men unhappy or feel uncomfortable, trans women have been beaten and trans women have been murdered simply because of who they are. In fact, one of the most dangerous demographics to be in America is to be a black trans woman. It's a really good way of getting murdered. I believe the statistic is that a black trans woman is like 8 times more likely to get murdered than a cis white dude. So yeah, it's terrifying. But It's none of your business what someone else's genitals look like. If they decide to volunteer that information, cool, great. Now you know. But don't ask. And if you're terrified that, you find yourself attracted to a trans woman and you don't know, go see a therapist. Before you ask about the genitals of another person, seriously, contact a cognitive behavior therapist and get some help. Because you really shouldn't be asking those questions to anyone, because it's tasteless. It's a sign that you're really not well.